error is this if statement. So initially I made an error here. It was like this, and I'm trying to set it in the condition. Okay, so it's supposed to be if we have results here, then we're going to go ahead and set the results to this state variable. Okay, so we don't have an error anymore. And here, down here, we're just going to log the results. But one thing that you have to take note of, please make sure that you have the API key in this function. So at the moment, I don't have an API key, so the function is not going to run. So you need to go and make sure that you put the API key. Otherwise, the function won't run. Okay. So you just paste the API key. You can find it in app.json. Okay, that's going to be my key. So you need to do the same with yours. Don't use my key. You should use yours. And we're going to save here. Okay, so here, let's press back. We're going to get rid of these. Okay, right now we have our result. So that means everything is working fine. So we need to just access these results, and then we can display the correct information here. Okay, so first we're going to start with distance. Okay, so our distance here is already in kilometers, so that's okay. So we're going to say distance time, and then we need to access the distance like that, which is 0.9. That's correct. From the time, we need to process it a little bit further, so we have to wait a little bit. We just go ahead and work with the ones that we have. So we have distance time, and then we have to get the price. That's the delivery price, final price here. Okay, so in this function, in this hook, we do have another function to extract numbers, because here of our return values, they include their strings. So we need to get the integers, especially when it comes to time. We just need to get the numbers, and then we're going to use those numbers to go ahead and calculate the time that we're supposed to have here. Okay, so we go back to our restaurant page, and we want to call a function. So we're going to go ahead and have our Google services, and we're going to call this function. It's supposed to be total time is equals to, so we need to push in our time. So this time, okay, that's going to be distance time dot duration. That's going to be our first. If this number is not available, we're just going to return 0 here, and we're going to add it to another number. So the other number is going to be the number that's coming from our restaurant, which is this time. Like, okay, so we're just going to go ahead, copy this line, and we're going to paste it here. But instead of distance time, we're going to go with item.time. Okay, like that. And down here, let's just go ahead and try to log the time, total time. Yeah, okay, 19 minutes, which is this 4 minutes plus the 15 minutes that we have here. Okay, so let's remove that, copy this, and here we're going to paste our total time. Okay, so we are done with that part. Next, we're going to focus on these ones. Okay, we're going to focus on our menu, the distance, and new. New is something that we can focus on whilst we have our REST API integrated. So let's just go ahead with the menu, just creating the components, because it's just the food that we are returning. So if we have a layout, it will be easy when we have our REST API integrated. But this height, let's try to use sizes dot height, and we're going to divide this by, let's try to divide by 2, 1.5 will do. Okay, so we're going back to this restaurant page. So here we need to replace these pages because we want to create them as separate components. We don't want to keep them here. Okay, so what we can do, we can go back to this folder. We create a new file, and we're going to have one with the name menu, and we have to make it a JSX file. So here we're just going to create a component with style, and we're going to create one with the name directions. And it's a JSX file as well. We create the component. We're going to create the one with the name new, and then we create the component inside like that. So we just want to hook these pages to our tab view. So first is going to be menu. Okay, the page is not importing. It's a little bit weird. Okay, so let's just try to import menu. We're going to import menu from. We need screens, and from screens we're going to access restaurant, and here we need to get this menu. So that's going to be our first. Okay, so this one is working fine. So let's import the other two. Next, we're going to have directions. And for directions, we have to map it to directions. New, we have to map it to new. So we have directions and we have new. Directions, new. Okay, so we've successfully hooked our components here. So the next thing is to work on those components. But what's tricky is how we are going to get the data to the particular page, because these pages are separated from our restaurant page, the inner tab view. So we need to find a way to get the data to these pages.